And I think we are live.
We are live.
Can we just get comfort? This is the first time that we're doing it where we can't hear our own audio because we all have to pack into a very small space. But can we please get confirmation from the chat if you can hear us?
Yes, we are relying on you. So this is actually a team effort today because we cannot sound check ourselves. We have no idea what's going on. We're just talking at you. To you. We're talking to you because you guys are responding to us. It's just very different than normal. I'm also watching this screen shake, and I don't know if it's the first time. Maybe it's a group of 3 people. We're rumbling so much.
My screen, actually, it's because I think Eric is typing on the table. That is okay. It happens. It's because my webcam is mounted to a monitor, which is mounted to a monitor stand, which is mounted to a table on an unleveled floor.
Right. And excuse me as I remove us from our Facebook and then edit us back in because Facebook apparently doesn't like to stream us properly. Da-da-da! Although, there we go. Okay, we're hearing everyone saying our sound is okay.
Amazing.
That is amazing.
Then, without further ado, hello. And
Hello.
welcome. We are unboxing the Lore Masters deck digital print sample. If you don't know, Lore Masters deck is our deck of lore prompts that we ran on Backer Kit last year, and it's going to be fulfilling around the end of the year this year. We have the digital print sample. Digital print sample is not the full production quality. When you do full production quality and you commit to offset printing, you don't have a chance to fix mistakes. You're all in on that. So the digital print sample is kind of the last chance to go over the exact color matching, the best estimation of the exact type of paper weight, how components are going to be held in the box. It's really our chance to get on the exact same page as our printer and make sure that we're really happy with the components.
It's a very nerve-wracking experience.
Yeah, honestly, it is. It is. If you miss anything, it's the
do you guys know how it's when you're basically having to say, yes, there is no mistakes. You can make thousands of these now. Thousands.
Yeah.
I remember I have worked up posters before. I've totally done promos where I've written the date wrong. And I remember once taking it was bookmarks for a festival, and I literally was hand scratching them out, but it was at least just the promos, the throwaway.
Yeah,
This is not something that's supposed to get in hot hands. Yeah. Yes, Moose Floors, I see this comment here, acknowledging that we are in the same frame.
I'm hosting Moroki and Eric in Halifax. They've come out from Toronto. Our team is sort of split between these two locations. But anytime we are together in the same place, we'd love to have a chance to do a little live stream, in-person hangout.
Well, the thing is, the last time we did this, because the first time we did a live stream together live was in Halifax. Yeah, it was Halloween. Yeah. I remember because I did a lot of I did a big spiry
makeup. Oh, you did the cool gothy makeup.
Yeah. I did a big spiry makeup, but because Eric was Heart of the Cards, he wasn't really on screen. He was on a separate screen.
You saw my hands.
No, we saw you at times, but you weren't lit.
Yeah, you also had to yell to be on microphone.
Oh.
Yeah. So this is the first time where we're all sharing the same screen together, and I think I was fiddling, but if you notice this blank space here,
Is that just a reference to Taylor Swift?
That's a Taylor Swift reference?
Blank space.
Oh. I know nothing about Taylor Swift.
It's the Starbucks Lovers song.
Okay.
Oh.
Except it's not Starbucks Lovers, it's Ex-Lovers.
It's Star-Crossed Lovers.
It's something about ex-lovers, I think.
Oh, well, but it's supposed to be Star-Crossed Lovers, and I think everyone heard it as Starbucks Lovers, so then it became the official
I think the lyric is a long list of ex-lovers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well then, clearly none of us know exactly.
Got a long list of ex-lovers, but there's a blank space, baby. Now what's your name? I think is the chorus or something like that.
I don't know why we're talking about
blank
Taylor
space.
Swift.
We have a blank space.
We're showing Moroki's distinct lack of
piece,
cultural knowledge here.
But piece by piece, we're going to unbox all of the components of Lore Masters deck, show them to you on our little close-up cam here.
Yeah, this is
the front cam, and then we'll place them on the shelf behind us.
Yeah, I think we already buried the lead with this particular item here.
So starting off, again, this is not the final materials, but this is as close to final as you can get for sample making. This is the playmat. This is the Lore Masters deck playmat with a big weave your lore message in the middle, Lore Masters deck and Story Engine logos, and then our lovely box art. It's beautiful. The colors turned out exactly the way that I hoped. The backside of it has a nice grip texture, so this doesn't slide around on tables. And with Lore Masters deck, because you are clustering a lot of cards, it really is helpful to have some kind of flat play surface. So the playmat is nice and official. Anything that you can do that will basically give you a nice grippable surface for picking up cards is well worth going for. But I just love how the colors turned out on this. And a shout out, as we'll be shouting out a lot during this unboxing session, to the Nomnivore Games art team. All of this artwork was made by the Nomivore Games art team for their tabletop RPG Emberwind. Both Eric and I have been writers on Emberwind projects. We are fans and friends of the Nomivore Games crew, and they let us raid their art library for all of our box art and like accessories. So that is what makes this so beautiful.
It makes us feel really like tied into other artists and creators.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
and
like we're almost like a family tree.
Yeah, very much so. And some of these, I think a couple of these will be familiar as art pieces from various expansions and decks from Story Engine. I know that's from the Fantasy expansion for Story Engine from the original print run.
Oh, I actually didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow, it's like Easter eggs.
Yeah. And this one is from, I think, Fantasy.
I want to say
Fantasy.
sci-fi. It has like
could be-
sci-fi energy to me.
I think actually Mythology. I think that was from Mythology.
Okay.
And I think this one's from Mythology as well, or if not from the deck.
You
then
shouldn't
at
be
least
giving it
from-
away. You should be allowing
Easter egg hunt. It's an
Yeah,
Easter
yeah,
egg
yeah.
hunt.
For everyone who's like, that's what they're gonna do. Everyone's gonna just spend their
Yeah.
time finding all the Easter eggs from Lore Master's deck and how that ties into Story Engine and Deck of Worlds.
Yeah.
One of the other things we should probably mention before we get rolling into unboxing is that we're doing a
Oh, the giveaway.
yeah. We're doing a giveaway today, and since you're joining us on the live stream, you're going to be the ones to hear it. Anyone who decides to make a purchase today on our store, whether it is on our Shopify store, which is at storyenginedeck.com, or through our pre-order store on BackerKit, which is storyenginedeck.com/lore. There's a long BackerKit address, but I'm giving you the simple one, storyenginedeck.com/lore. If you want to pre-order any of our items today after you get a chance to kind of see it as in person as you can possibly see it, short of us, being... Can you imagine the day in the future we can just like quickly, I don't know, have like a portal that has like everyone can put their hands and they enter our portal for a short minute and they can like touch things or something.
Yeah.
That'd be that might get a little bit complicated.
Yes. Anyway, all that is to say, if you're considering buying any of our Lore Masters deck products or Story Engine, if you do a pre-order today on our BackerKit store or on storyenginedeck.com, we're doing a flash giveaway where you can get an alpha deck of Lore Masters deck. Do we have that around here? We were spending so much time talking about unpacking. I don't think we actually...
I do, but it would involve ransacking the cupboard.
Okay.
I don't want to ransack.
Yeah, so maybe we'll just like put a pickup later on or something like that. Essentially, it doesn't come with all... It's like the stack of all the most of the cards. And it's one of the first iterations. There you go.
Comes in a little Ziploc bag.
Comes in one of Peter's Ziploc bags.
For freshness. It keeps all the ideas fresh.
The alpha deck does not come. It is pre any of the storage boxes you're about to see today.
Yeah.
So, this was an alpha production copy, but it's still like very nicely printed and cut. All of the corners are rounded. Has all of our card types. It has some cards that don't exist anymore, which will make it a bit of a collectible. And depending, just tons and tons of cool cards with pretty much very similar to the final, but with some cards that eventually get cut out. And that's that. And we'll sign it for you, and we'll pop it in the mail, and that'll be for you. It'll ship separately from your main order because we'll be shipping it directly here from like my house in Halifax.
Yeah. Yeah. We're not going to send to our fulfillment partners for that. It's literally going to come out of Peter's hands. All of us have probably manhandled it at some point.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe we should say that if you buy any of our physical products on our website.
Yes. So it comes with physical orders. Digital orders will not be eligible for this because we need to have your shipping address.
Yes. Marlene, I'm glad you liked this giveaway. We thought it would be a fun thing. It would give people an opportunity to kind of play the decks and, I don't know, find like the rare cards with errors and maybe in 20 years down the line.
Museum is still in this copy, I think. I think the word museum still made this copy.
Museum is still in this alpha deck copy, so everyone who's very passionate about having Museum in their deck, you can add that card in, I guess, when Lore Master's deck arrives.
Yeah.
Okay, I think without further ado, we should show you some of our stuff, right?
Main event.
Bum,
Bum,
ba, 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 ba,
the Lore Master's deck. It's as big as 3 people.
It's like 3 decks stuck together.
To be fair, it is bigger than Story Engine and Deck of Worlds.
Actually, let's do a quick comparison.
Or 3 decks in a trench coat.
Yeah.
So you hold that, and I will hold this. So it is the same dimensions in terms of height and thickness, but the width is considerably wider because it needs to have 8 trays for 8 different card types, because it is most card types and most cards of each type to date of all of our decks. So it's still pretty physically consistent with the original decks, but we had more card types, we needed more room, so we decided to go bigger.
Yeah, that means if you are ever storing your decks where you're stacking your boxes, put Lore Master's deck on the bottom unless you like chaos. And I actually do have a feeling that a bunch of you guys like chaos. I mean, Peter does have patented Ziploc bags. I don't know if you've seen some of our previous live streams, but I'm pretty sure, I don't remember if it was a photo or live stream where Peter just sort of showed us his like pencil case, or like what was inside of it?
Oh, it was so it was a Ziploc freezer bag of frozen blueberries.
Yeah, it was like the frozen blueberry Ziploc bags that Peter was using to store things in. Now, I mean, I suppose that's very environmentally friendly because technically, guys, I don't know how it is in America or other places in the world, but like it you can't recycle them, at least in the Toronto area and Ontario, laminated Ziploc bags. So, which is sad because that's bad for the environment, but because you did that, you've saved the environment. One blueberry Ziploc bag at a time. Yeah, I guess we should open it up.
Yeah. I'm going to remove, so this is the sleeve that comes on top that you can slip out that holds the magnetic treasure box style lid shut. And then...
I can't actually tell what I'm doing.
It looks great.
We have our guidebook. So that's our 8-page guidebook. Same dimensions as the guidebooks for Story Engine and Deck of Worlds, which has 8 pages of instructions introducing types of cards, how to build your first lore cluster, how to assemble multiple lore clusters and do link queues. This is our really fun section on how to create a timeline, so do an entirely event-based timeline using Lore Master's deck. And then how to combine it and do card substitutions with card types from Story Engine and Deck of Worlds. So that's the guidebook that comes with every deck. And then the deck itself, we have our beautiful 8 card types. We have our stretch goal that I wanted so badly, and we got it. These are the tokens. I'm actually going to put those on the
Yeah, I was going to be like, camera. They probably look better in the close-up camera.
Yeah, so we have 5 colors of tokens. These tokens help you track links between cards that are not adjacent to each other so that you can really pull out your entire lore web. Yeah, and actually we can probably put this on the table for a sec.
And I see a question from Jonathan saying if they make the pre-order while we guys are live or sometime today. So we were just saying the live, but if you stay tuned or if enough people say things, maybe we will change our minds. And Jabba the Hutt, I know the pre-order system doesn't accept PayPal. I'm really sorry. It's one of those things. I think like as we get closer to fulfillment, we can. Here's the reality: is I'll just straight up say it because I have as sellers, we have huge issues with PayPal. PayPal is like as evil as a conglomerate will get in terms of like really making it not cost effective for sellers. They charge really huge fees, but the worst part is that they make it really easy for people to like order and then basically how is this?
PayPal's system is built in such a way that basically if you don't get the product within a certain time, you get penalized. So for pre-orders, PayPal is like, why hasn't this thing gone out yet? It doesn't really understand the idea of a pre-order and that this isn't going to go out yet.
You get penalized, you get flagged, and they might not let you use it again. So yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah. So I appreciate you, Jabba, for understanding.
Once we get closer to fulfillment, then we can start taking it because then we'll actually be able to, deliver on the thing you're buying.
Yeah, I'll actually be able to. The tokens look delicious. I mean, honestly, the colors on them, they are. Do you guys ever like get, I don't know, buttons or things and they just have like such a delicious looking color where like I kind of want to eat this.
Yeah.
And you're like, you really should.
They're kind of the pastel color of Easter candy, like the little Easter chocolate eggs.
Yeah.
Well, this one makes me think of kiwis. I love a nice tart kiwi. But yeah, I had a lot of fun. I went through like I think 5 or 6 different rounds of choosing colors before I settled on these because they had to be different from the card types because we didn't want them to look like the card types.
I remember we went through so many different. We were trying to see if we could like make them metallic, seeing that would turn out nice. We were trying to like. Yeah, we're gonna need a bigger screen. I know.
Well, what I'll do, I'm gonna get these out of the way for a second, and then I'll pick up those cards. We'll put that.
Our live streams are gonna become like this. I don't know, like 5-screen experience of just card clusters.
Yeah, or like you'll need an Oculus Rift to be able
to. We're just gonna have one of the conspiracy boards.
Yeah. Just
with threads everywhere.
Little buddy.
I remember when we were first ideating Lore Master's deck. Like this is like day I don't know, negative day T minus 20 when Peter was showing me his like what Lore Master's deck was on Post-it notes, and I remember we were talking about, we were basically still trying to discuss the deck, and then of course us being pie in the sky, we were like, but what about these accessories? And then we went and daydreamed, and I think we were trying to be like, we should have a game table. You can have these clusters. You can put a giant pane of glass over top.
The game table, yeah.
And then, yeah, and I was like, can we like start at the like
start
deck
small.
level?
Yeah.
Yeah, start small. You know what? I think it would be such a cool thing if someday, I don't know, like, you know when people do watch parties?
Yeah.
Of like cool things, whether it's like a premiere or a movie. I don't know why why Story Engine would need a watch party someday. Maybe it's because I used to work in film, but I would like a watch party of someday, please.
The launch of Story Engine, the coloring book.
Or like, I don't know, like the Story Engine, the movie. Like, is there some weird documentary of us? Or is it going to be a fiction story about like...
Rewatch the actual play from the Lore Master's deck campaign.
There's going to be seriously a fiction movie. Like the Story Engine like tells stories, it tells the future, and then like people need to go make sure bad guys don't get the deck so that they cause chaos in the world. The good people need to do, and they tell stories to defeat their enemies.
That'd be fun.
See, I was just thinking that you're like, are you telling people that we're gonna make a deck that predicts the future?
I was gonna say we've gone from like designing a 3D media experience to a 4D media experience.
I kind of dig this whole it's like the Dungeons and Dragons movie, right? But we're doing Story Engine deck the movie.
Now, we're going to bust this deck back out later on in the live stream. I think if there's time at the end, we'd love to sneak in our first prompt with the digital sample.
Yes.
But in the meantime, I think we can probably move on to expansions.
Yes. Should we put the sleep back on?
Yeah, put the sleep back on. If you could reassemble this. This goes on top of the...
reassemblage.
The trait card, or the modifier cards.
Oh. I'm being specifically told. This is how exact we are. We're like, we actually tell our like factories like this needs to be face up.
Yeah.
The tokens need to be right specifically on this this card. All this kind of stuff. So
I wanted the full rainbow to be visible as soon as people open the box.
Ah.
The impact.
What do you mean white?
We did have a request to stack the decks quickly just to see how big they are relative to one another. Versus Story
Okay, we'll
Engine.
do this super quick. I'm gonna hold it like this while I have it in my hand.
Oh, I see. So and keep in mind, this Story Engine does not have its sleeve on. I keep the sleeve off so I can get the cards a little faster. But that is that, and then this right here.
Getting a workout in.
Yeah. So those are the three together.
There you go, guys. Looks like this. Again, if you invite chaos, you do it the other way.
Yeah.
Or if you invite a lot of chaos, you put one on the bottom, the Lore Master's deck in between.
We did a recommendation for that as basically the story sandwich.
The story sandwich. Alright, let's put this up here.
And do we want to do... Actually, we get a vote from the chat. Do they want to see the Lore Mastery expansions first or the Bridge expansions first?
Oh, wait. In the typical rules of our lives with a 3, 2, 1, go. So... Lore Mastery expansions or Bridge. 3, 2, 1, go. Let us know. Let us know what you want to see first. Not everything's a vote for that, but Story Deck Jenga. I mean, I don't know if you guys... So I tend to just, like, stack my expansions. Like, I don't have it displayed all pretty like this. Eric puts them in the folding boxes. Well, I just stack them, so I Jenga the crap out of my expansions.
My secret is all the ones behind me are empty. I have all of the cards together in the Leviathan boxes.
Right. I think Bridge won.
Oh, the Bridge is one. Wow, okay.
Just fire came out of the gate.
Let's do the Bridge expansion. So we'll start by showing it to the front cam.
Oh, my favorite box.
Oh yeah, why don't you show off that?
My favorite box, guys. I'm like obsessed with this design. This is the one where I keep telling everyone that I want like tote bags made out of it. And,
and we should explain. So this is the collector's box for these. This is going to be mostly a backer kit thing. We probably won't have a lot of those left over for general sale after the backer kit pre-order. They don't come with like if you just buy the expansions, they don't come. They come with the collector tiers. So things like the Conjure and Devour tiers. It comes automatically with those. You can add it on separately if you want, but this right now, what you're seeing is the collector's box.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm like so obsessed with the way Zach designed these logos because it captures my mirrored image, Story Engine, Deck of Worlds and Lore Masters deck logos, and it's just redesigned for the bridge expansions, and it's just, it's so sexy. I want a tote. I'm gonna, like, literally, I'll have one tote bag, and it's gonna be made for me.
Yeah, we'll custom print you a tote bag with the
Roki's own
bridge
private
expansion
tote
art.
bag. Or, like, I don't know, I could, like, make, like, a box purse with it.
Oh, that would be fun.
Oh my god, guys, look. Okay, sorry, I'm being weird. This is like a little clutch.
Also, my dog is laying down under all of our feet and in the middle of the tripod, so at some point he's gonna knock that over when he gets up. But
Of
in the
course he
meantime,
will.
we're all
Just warning.
Why did you put it out there in the universe like that?
yeah.
Okay.
Well, to explain what happens when the tripod falls over later. It's actually why, if you saw it earlier, the tripod suddenly nudged. That was from him just clonking out. So here we have bridge expansions. This is the box. So we have the logos on all of the sides. And then inside, trying to open this the long way. Inside, we're talking to the printer about whether or not they can preload expansions in the box, or the box will come empty and the expansions are outside. But we have the story and lore bridge expansion.
I also like the way we designed the boxes for this.
And we actually asked for this last time, and the factory forgot to do it, but we've been wanting to do thumb cuts forever. So these just make the expansion boxes a little bit easier to open. We do acknowledge that the first two print runs are a little bit tricky to open.
I can confirm this.
Yeah. Now they open like a dream.
Honestly, these are those little things that we obsess over all the time. It's not even, it's like, yes, we obsess about the design. Like we, I think you guys saw in one of our previous updates, we literally were humming and hawing over the 2 shades of purple for our journal.
Oh yeah, which we'll be able to show you how
Which
that
we'll be able to
resolved.
show you how that resolved, but like, it's, you think it's like the fun graphic stuff, but it's usually like, do we want to move this like 2 millimeters back? Oh my god, speaking of 2 millimeters back.
The textures, the box textures, were that was an example of a detail where like, I had to send you a very long email being like, am I being too obsessed? And you're like, no, I think this is the right level of obsessed.
Yeah, we were like, just little,
Going to high-res textures for all the boxes, because
Yeah.
the first round had been just looked a little bit fuzzy in the final print run. Also, we've been like obsessively color matching the cards that look like story engine cards to make sure that they match the existing print run from 2022. But yeah, that is
I remember one time we also, I think like just for story engine print runs and the reprint, stacking the cards side by side and seeing how off they were.
Yeah.
Oh, the things we do.
So I won't do these for all of the expansions, but I thought I'll crack one out in detail, and we'll just admire the boxes for the other 2, and then we'll jump to Lore Mastery. Put those back in our box.
Each bridge expansion has cards for 2 decks. Yes, you are correct. So we have our story and lore bridge expansion, we have our story world expansion, and we have our world lore expansion. Actually, like, this is something I guess we've only really done internally, but never publicly shared. If there's anything that would help a little bit, story we kind of have like, we kind of do the color yellow, and Deck of Worlds we do green. So if you can't tell, like the colors cross fade into each other. So and lore is purple. So like if you do story lore, it's yellow to purple. Story of the worlds, it's yellow and green, and world and lore, it's green to purple. So that's like a small way for us to identify the deck families.
Yeah, and you'll notice on the website too, if you go to storyenginedeck.com or the pre-order store, storyenginedeck.com/lore, there's a little background of the main icon from the deck behind every box that you'll see, so you can really quickly identify which deck family each deck belongs to for expansion.
Yeah, and Pagan Eagle's asking if they're the same as the PDF ones. The short answer is yes.
Are the cards the same? Yeah, the cards are the exact same as what we distributed in the PDF. So I don't think we made any changes.
No. The only reason I said changes because I know we have like the eco-friendly version for PDFs as well. Yeah. So which is the same. It's just like less color, smaller cards, more eco-friendly. Yes. Okay. So with one set of expansions, we have to bring up the second set. Lore Mastery expansion.
Ooh, very fancy.
Very nice. I actually like the way it's showing up in the webcam. It kind of like really pushes those 3 Lore Mastery expansions into the forefront and in the background, and it like looks kind of 3D. All right, let's get it open.
So we have Deities expansion, Emblems expansion, Namesakes expansion. And these are their covers. Oh, actually, I could show the back. But
I've also decided I'm very
back with
warm.
the art credits.
It's a little toasty.
Art on all
Well, it's
sides.
Halifax. It's like Maritimes, and it's chilly, but then you sit in a room with lights and
Yeah,
with becoming really close with friends, and then it becomes warm.
yeah. Whether or not wind is blowing is like 100% of what the temperature is going to feel like.
And thankfully, there's not much wind blowing inside this studio.
Yet.
Yeah, yeah. That would be tricky with all of the paper. Okay, so yeah, wield the power of the gods. Our Master of Gods expansion for creating deities. Again, handy thumb cut means no more fumbling. And we have our lovely pack of deity cards. I believe it's 25 deities in this deck, and then 5 of each of the 7 other primary lore card types. So we have our creatures, our materials, our objects, our locations, our events, our figures, and our factions. And then a guidebook with all of the rules for how you're gonna make
I know I
gods.
asked this question on the last live, but like, over the various lives, we've tried to demo each of our expansion decks as much as we can because, you know, namesakes and symbols are different, especially the symbols. It's like so unique in its own way.
Yeah,
And
just very unique.
yeah, I want to know like if you guys have, for anyone who's pre-ordered or pledged to our campaign, did you guys like buy them all? Do you guys just picked one? Is there any questions you have about any of the other expansions that we could answer for you if we didn't get a chance to answer for you in a previous live stream?
Or if anybody's got the PDF versions and printed them out.
Yeah, and you guys already experimented with them and kind of discovered something maybe that you haven't before. Like maybe you were like, I don't know, I couldn't get into all these symbols, but then they've helped me visualize so and like XYZ. Because I love visuals. Like even though we're all writers, right? Some like there is some truth to the picture worth 1,000 words sort of thing. And being able to have a symbol sometimes really quickly helps you like, I guess like cultivate a sense of identity for characters or for settings or for locations that you create. While Peter's opening up that box there, this question from Joe: do you have plans to create an all-in bundle that adds the lore master series to the Alpha and Omega?
We've been going back and forth on this.
We really have been going back and forth on this.
I think there will always be like a bundle deal if you're getting all of the deck sets, but we may stop doing like a dedicated product that is the bundle.
Yeah.
We've talked about no longer having like that thing that is that bundle. Instead, you get a discount when you order each full deck system. Because at some point, it's going to become too unwieldy. But
Yeah.
we'll see. We're gonna experiment with that.
I think we would probably test for a little bit because the thing is Lore Master's deck likely won't be our last deck. I really shouldn't be like making false promises, but knowing the kind of things we like to create, there might be more expansions down the line for our other decks. We might create various iterations. I know we've had some requests for like decks for kids. So it's kind of one of those, when do we stop? Like, when does all in, like, when does it become too much, right?
We're going to run out of shelf space by the end of this live stream. So I'll need to buy another shelf if we're going to make more decks.
Yeah.
Which, again,
soon become Peter becomes smaller and smaller as the backdrop gets bigger and bigger.
It's like nobody really walks into Walmart and says, I'll have one of everything, please.
Yeah, so I don't know, like, it might even become a situation where we actually, everything just eventually gets broken down. Like, maybe Alpha and Omega goes away and we end up breaking down all worlds, all story. Yeah, it's always interesting. Like, as you can tell, like, we're a very, very small company. We are literally 3 people.
And a dog.
3 people and a dog. The dog is our model.
You can see him in the photos we've been posting on Instagram this week.
Yeah, he really is he's our hand model and our
mascot.
our familiar.
Yeah.
And the thing is it's interesting because, like, if you haven't heard the origin story, we'll say it really quickly because I know some of you have probably heard it many times, but this sort of started as something that Peter created for yourself in some ways.
Yeah, it was a solo. So originally it was like I was just writing 1 to 2 micro stories every week for the shortest story, which is my little postcard fiction project, and trying to come up with ideas very quickly and very often. I was thinking a lot about like what is the basic structure of a story, what counts as a story, and then how to anatomize a story. And the story engine deck is very much an attempt to figure out like, yeah, what is the bare minimum you need for something to feel like a story? Then how can you grow that? How do you expand that from like a prompt into a short story or into like a novel? And the card types were just like a really good way to be able to model that, and also to make sure that any story idea that you come up with feels satisfying and whole. That it has all the things that make a story feel like fleshed out. So. A character, a motivation, something with that motivation to attach to, like a specific goal, conflict or a consequence for them pursuing that action, and then something that's descriptive and specific. And that is my mindfulness alarm. This happened last time. I'd like to do it again. Let's all take a moment, wherever you are in your life right now, wherever you're sitting, take a moment to just be aware of where you are in your body. I'm very excited, so I'm noticing how excited I am. I'm noticing that I'm like flush and happy and full of life, and it's just a nice little moment to take in. That is why I have mindfulness alarms. Yeah, so the story prompts and coming up with lots of ideas and being able to figure out how to take a small story seed and expand it into stories of different sizes was really fun. The internet really liked that idea too. It took off on Kickstarter, and it got to the point where I thought like this logistically is turning into something bigger than I think I know how to handle on my own. And so I asked for some friends who does anyone know who does like business consulting or would be able to do help with some like sort of a business like analysis, and Maruki came in originally on a short contract to help me figure out what my goals were going to be for growing this and maintaining a community, and eventually became so essential to like the day-to-day that she came in full-time. And then Eric, her fiance, has been a long-time friend and collaborator from he's been proofreading all the decks since the beginning, and we've worked together on Underwind. Yeah. And so he was our first full-time person to bring in, and yeah, it keeps going. It's been almost exactly a year since Maruki came on full-time, and we made this like a full-time thing for all of us. But it's been really beautiful, and a chance to like work together in person and have these sessions.
Yeah.
So it's been amazing.
Yeah,
really
amazing. So I guess all that is to say, sometimes when you start with like a seed of a dream and you're not sure where it goes, you start having to bring in like systems and structures. And I know that sounds like the very unboring thing to say, but I worked in the arts for over a decade as an actor and a producer, and one of the things that I cared a lot about was how to build sustainability in the arts, because it's like you create plays, and if no audience shows up, that's not sustainable. And sometimes you need someone to talk about the numbers and the development, and they're not fun, but they're incredibly necessary. And if you don't think about it in those ways, and I say this to anyone out there who's like a budding author, an artist, a games publisher, anything, is I think sometimes we treat business like it's a bad word, but it's incredibly important, because you want to be able to share your work with the world. Yeah. And you also want to be valued for the stuff you create, right? Like one of the things we talk about a lot as artists is getting valued for our time and our effort. And what's the point, if you can't take care of yourself by doing your craft, then I don't know if the craft is serving you. So having business is incredibly important, and like that's one of the things that we're trying to do. This is I don't know if this was the answer that Joe was looking for, but the very long-winded answer is we're trying to figure out what all this means for like bundles and expansions, and what that means for like creating collections for people that makes it easy for someone who either wants to get started.
Yeah.
Wants to get started and get it all, only really like one of our pieces, because some people probably like prefer some of our systems over another.
Yeah, like if you're not doing world building, you're not telling stories in an alternate world, then Deck of Worlds wouldn't be particularly helpful. Like you can still get some good story seeds out of it, but Story Engine would be way better suited to that purpose. So definitely, like I think one of the things that'll be a project in the next year is like just that guide to like someone who's new to the systems, like which deck should I choose? I know Science Fantasy Awesome put together a really good video recently on YouTube explaining like which deck to use. But it'll be good for us to have some resources that can help people who want to know.
Yeah, and we had some really great videos from Film Courage that also shared like how to use it in film and script development, which was also good. This long question, not long question, this long-waited question from Bronwyn. What's the dog's name? Yes.
So the dog's name is Oban, like the town in Scotland / the Scotch, Oban. And I'm just gonna actually move. He's like under the table, so I'm gonna slightly move the camera back so we can see him for a second.
Yes. I think if there's any opportunity for Peter to show off Oban, he will. And apparently my socks as well. Like.
So now I have to, like you can see that the tripod leg is gonna have to be maneuvered around his tummy. And that is what has been happening under the table this entire time.
There is great comfort.
Yeah.
Yes.
Best dog.
Marlene, I'm glad to hear that the Off the Beaten Path guide has been fun.
Yeah, we've had some great feedback. C.L. Clark, the author of Magic the Lost series, so the Unbroken and the Faithless, and then the Sovereign is not out yet, sent me an email about like just having a lot of fun with it. I don't know if they're going to use it for like writing, but just for like their own like creative like fulfillment and fun. They've been rocking it. So yeah, thanks to everyone who checked it out. It was so much fun to work on. And the response has been really great. If you did get it and you like it, whether you got it through the Kickstarter as like a freebie, because we give it out for free to everyone who backed Deck of Worlds, or you picked it up from the store, if you can go to the product page on the store and leave us a review, that would actually mean a lot.
Reviews mean so much.
Yeah, you can just click write a review and leave it, and let us know what you thought of it, and that helps people decide whether or not it's going to be helpful for whatever their creative goal is.
Yeah, please do. If you guys love any of our products, reviews are kind of like the bread and butter. It's like our version of Google review.
Yeah. And it lets people know, like, from people who actually used it, what they think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's good feedback for us too.
Yeah.
All right.
Next one. This is
the
tray storage box. So this is actually like literally pixel for pixel the same template that we used for the Lore Masters deck box. So it's the exact same size as the Lore Masters deck box. We're actually printing it as part of the same print run so that we can keep the costs for this a little more reasonable for people. This type of storage is really helpful if you want to be able to have access to a lot of different cards like face up and quickly. So we'll take the tray off, and you'll see it's the same style of like treasure box. So it folds out like this. And then it has 8 empty trays that you can use. You can also fold down the top into a flat play surface, just like you can with any of our decks. So this is really helpful if you want to be able to see the cards face up and really be able to like see the card types and grab them, or like build 4-card prompts by putting just flipping the top card over and leaving them in the deck. So this doesn't have the biggest volume in terms of like our folding storage boxes are the most space efficient. Our Leviathans are the most efficient for being able to categorize cards and have tons of them all together in one box. But if you like being able to see all the card types and the full card backs, this is the best solution for that.
Yeah, if there's anything we've learned about doing like this campaign where we've increased the amount of storage systems we've done by a lot, kind of went from just only having storage boxes to now so many different storage boxes, is recognizing that everyone has a different way of storing things. If nothing else, especially like we've seen before we started creating our own systems, we've seen how many of you have created your own storage box systems. Yeah,
that's actually one of my favorite things to see on the so we have a Discord and a fan like a community run Discord and a community run Facebook group, and both of them people like pulling out their really cool storage solutions is always a lot of fun. I really enjoy those posts.
Well, you've had people like, I don't know, reconfigure whole like desks.
Oh, right, the desk. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, we've had it, like there was one custom built little like it looked kind of like a game like chess and checkers type storage.
Or it reminded me of like the sewing machine tables back then. When, your sewing machine could be like flipped over or lowered, and then it was like a little table, and then it it was built in. It was meant to it was something that was such a permanent fixture in your life. That you kind of had a modular desk for it. Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Like really cool. It was almost like, oh, can you make us one too? Like,
Add to our list of like pie in the sky but very improbable add-ons for the next campaign would be a custom desk.
Oh my God. We'll show up and
I
build.
can see how instantly tired you got when I said that. You're like, I don't want to have to deal with this.
It'd be one of those things where it's like, when they have like the crazy stretch tiers, like when you always have a thing where at the very end you get like, and then you can meet and greet with us and visit our factories. It gets like 2 people get it kind of thing.
Yeah. The custom desk.
Yeah.
It's like field trip to the Globe Theater.
Yeah.
For us, you can come to like Halifax.
Actually, here's an experience to do with Eric and Maroki. Both of them are like just incredible athletes. Maroki does circus performance, which involves an incredible amount of flexibility and body control. Eric is a medalist in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I did a workout with them this morning. I did like 1/3 of their workout, and I was sandbagged. I was laying on a yoga mat in the middle of the field, just being like, I'm done. I'm never doing another burpee again in my goddamn life. So that can be the big tier is you get to do a HIIT workout with Maroki and Eric. We'll provide the yoga mats and the water bottles.
How to become this specific character that we've developed in a
story engine water bottles coming soon.
A story engine, the water bottle.
Yeah, it'll be like the anime hero fitness regime. Like if you actually want to be able to fight like XYZ.
Here's our One Punch Man fitness regime.
Yeah. Folding storage boxes. These are our most cost-efficient one. The one sort of trick with these guys is because the cards are stored vertically in one continuous compartment. If you want them to stay upright, any blank space you'll need to have fillers. You can crumple up newspaper. You can put in your empty expansion boxes. That's what I usually do for using these. Each one comes with 5 divider tabs, which have, again, beautiful art from Emberwind on each side. And then a little blank space at the top where you can label this however you want to divide it. So whether if you like to divide by expansion, if you like to divide by card type, you can customize your dividers. And yeah, and we have instructions. There's a little URL on the bottom of the boxes, which tells you where to go to see a video of the box being assembled, because these will be sent to you flat, which also just makes them a lot more it makes the shipping a lot more efficient to GoFriend.
I can say I love our fancy storage boxes. Living in a small condo, I get a lot of mileage out of these folding ones.
Yeah.
They hold things very efficiently.
So we have 2 different designs. This one has the Rogue from Emberwind, the Rogue class art. This is the Door Crasher from the Skies of Axia. We have some more artwork from the Hero Manual. Some monsters from various bits and pieces, some environmental art, and then yeah, it's a fairly simple inside, but just certainly price-wise, this is a really good entry point, and it does everything that you need a box to do.
I do find these really useful when we take the decks on the road.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because one of the things we've taken to do is taking the decks on our travels to be like, ooh, does this now we can get cool and cute shots of deck on beach, deck on it's for I don't know the desert expansion. Let's take the deck, put in sand. I remember one time we were at a cottage and we went down to the woods and did some weird things in storage sheds. And then hands over
a lot
bridges.
of horror ones in that one, yeah.
Yeah. So that's how we usually do it. I think I didn't have the storage boxes on hand when I went to Greece, I think last year. So I packed in a little box that Eric lent to me. But yeah, similarly, just know that it's sturdy and can do its job.
So I think those go in the little tray over there. Beautiful. All right, time for the big boys.
Time for the big boys.
These will not fit on this camera. They are bigger than the entire field of view of this camera.
To just really talk about them. If we're alluding to anything, you should know what's coming up next. Bum, bum, bum.
The Leviathan.
Bum, bum.
These things are friggin' huge. They will store so many cards. And they have a ton of different individual dividers. So, actually, fun fact, this is one of my photographs. I don't put a ton of my photographs in our stuff. Most of the time it's stuff that I license, but a few of mine have made it into the main deck of the story engine.
I want to look at it now.
Yeah, that's Cinque Terre, Italy.
Nice.
Yeah.
All sides. Since you guys won't be able to see it on the other camera, I guess I should do it this way.
Got all 3 of our core logos in there.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, we should try. Here, it's just the Leviathan there.
Yeah,
there.
this is the entire field of view is just Leviathan boxes.
Yeah, I'm holding it upside down. Didn't even notice.
What's this one? Yeah, some floating masks, some desert stuff, cool crocodile eye. And then I think we don't have room to open both of these because they doubles inside when you pull it off. So here, Eric, you can chuck that up on the top shelf.
Trying to open the small space is also
tricky.
Yes. So Lore Master's deck will hold 2,500 cards, right?
So with Lore Master's deck, all of our decks combined are about 20. Let me actually check that. We have a card calculator for.
You'd think we'd have this memorized by now.
Yeah. You think, but every single time.
Right.
I think we always get I think it's because we get asked questions, but then we ask the question, and then we're like, oh no, but what?
I also had a moment where I got it wrong even when I was doing some stuff for the website where I was like, this is how many story engine cards there are, and I assumed that there were 20 in all the booster packs, and I was wrong.
Okay, so 1,400 cards times 2 for 2 Leviathan decks, so that's 2,880 cards.
Yeah, that's what the 2 Leviathans will hold together, and then...
And that should hold everything plus, some extras.
Yeah, so the entirety of all of our deck systems, not including any promo cards, early bird cards, etc., is 2,208 cards. So the 2 of these will hold everything with room to spare.
Yeah. So if you guys print a few and make your own cards, or some of the early bird cards that you could have gotten from us.
Oh yeah, so we have we have foam that will be, this is not glued for this model, but it will be glued into the final. So we have glued foam inside the lid to stop the cards from rattling around and make sure that they're not marking up the inside top of the box. And we have even more artwork, different artwork along the inside liner, printing in all visible areas, and then this just massive tray. The crenellations in the plastic are designed to give it a ton of strength, so that if you've loaded this thing up completely, it will be durable, and you'll be able to, like, you know, there's a video of me throwing the original model in the air.
Yeah, the white version.
Oh yeah. I have it here, but it's impossible to get out because of how tight
that's
the
okay.
chairs are.
And this is, so like, it's this kind of stuff that we spent a lot of time kind of going back and forth with the factory on. I think we were like looking at the quality of the plastic, the thickness of the plastic. I think we were trying to like do a laddered model so that it was a little more visible, like trying to figure out like even this. So I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see on camera, but I remember one of the things we worked really hard on figuring out for cards and labeling is that this is actually a little bit wider at the top and a little bit narrower at the bottom, and that I think adds just a little bit of extra strength.
I think it's narrower at the top, slightly wider at the bottom. It tapers.
No, it tapers in. Totally tapers in.
Oh, you're talking about the slot or the divider?
The in between here, in between. This is a slight.
Yeah. Sorry. So I'm thinking of the divider and not the space, and you're thinking of the space.
We have so many little things that we changed.
But it is correct.
Yeah, so even changing things like that slightly to add a little bit more strength and stability, while still allowing visibility of the cards, because I know part of it was allowing like people being able to see.
Yeah,
things.
we didn't want these to be so high that you can't see the expansion icons or the card type colors. So this way, you like. These act as dividers, and you can always see what card is in each slot.
Yeah. I like this thing, dude. The boxes come with wheel options. Oh god, next thing.
Yeah.
Story Engine, the wheelie bag.
Yeah, the wheelie bag. Yeah, truly. That'll be a Gen Con exclusive.
We would be so popular though if we did that, because everybody would want one just so they could take it for around the rest of the con.
Yeah. Speaking of Gen Con, we will be at Gen Con.
We will be at Gen Con.
So if you are coming out to Indianapolis this summer, it is starting. I want to say it's like July 31st or August 1st. August 1st is the first day. Although we're also going to be participating in Trade Day on July 31st, the Wednesday. So the day before the main Gen Con floor opens is Trade Day, where if you're an educator, a librarian, a retailer, it's a place to do like a lot of networking with folks who sort of like make gaming products that maybe like are good for education and for like I guess education is the main component of it. So if you are one of those folks, I seriously consider Trade Day. I would seriously consider Trade Day. We applied and got accepted because obviously Story Engine, Deck of Worlds, and Lore Masters Deck is a really great product for kind of creative writing and like I mean we even talked about how it's good for science in some ways.
The new Deck of Worlds lesson plans that you can find on the website in the same section where we have the expanded guidebook that I mentioned. You can download 6 free lesson plans, and it covers topics like biology and history, anthropology, and talking about culture. So we have some very cool lesson plans for that. Really wonderful classroom tools.
So we're gonna be there on Wednesday, and then Thursday through Sunday we will be at Gen Con. And we have lots of cool things planned for Gen Con as well.
We have a panel that I think is now sold out, but if there were 2 tickets when I checked like 5 days ago, they're probably gone at this point, but you can look us up in the program guide. We're doing a live panel there.
Yes, it will be Friday at 9 a.m. And I mean, you could show up on the day, you never know.
Yeah, I actually don't know what if they have a wait list or anything. I'm just checking to see.
Yeah, I don't actually know either, but there you go. We're going to be having a world building panel and just hanging around doing prompts and doing cool things all weekend. Yeah, it'll be fun.
Come on, find us.
Find us.
I think BFE is the name of the overall booth, or BFE Webcomics is where
BFE Comics. Do we know our table number yet?
I don't think we know it yet, but if we don't, it'll definitely be on all of our socials.
Yeah, stay on top of our socials, or you can sign up for our newsletter, which you can do at storyenginedeck.com, so you can be like the first to know, like, I mean, where we are at Gen Con, or possible new discounts.
We want you to be able to find us, so.
Yeah. Or, I don't know, random tidbits of the day. Like, is anyone in our chat subscribed to our newsletter? And if you are, like, we want to hear what you like seeing from us on it, because, like, we like sharing things. You know, we try and share prompts, stories, recaps, resources when we get them. I know for some of our, like, text messages. We have a lot of fun sharing emojis in our text messages. I think I put a lot of wizard's hats. If there's usually a wizard's hat in the text message, if anyone's on our like SMS, it's probably me.
I'm emojis in the subject line for our emails. That's usually I'm the culprit for that.
Every now and then I get zesty and throw them into the body of the email.
Yeah.
Usually if it's a party or a live stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
There we
think
go.
you're mostly our plain text guy. Your words alone.
Plain text. Yeah, who's the plain text email versus who's the emoji girl and who's the like whatever.
Emojis have so many mixed meanings. That's why I'm a writer.
That's why I only use the eggplant emoji. It's always.
It's like what we should do is just like, can we get like a custom emoji set of all the emblems in the emblems deck?
Custom emojis.
Yeah,
That is our
yeah.
like new thing. It's like, what did you guys decide to spend your fiscal budget on this year? We decided to like
Oh,
trademark
emojis.
some new emojis.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I like that from Moose. Like sharing when we share the YouTube videos of reviews and creators using the decks.
Yeah, we love if you are someone who creates who like does reviews, we love seeing people do unboxings or demos. It's always fun. We love hearing feedback that way. So
and we will definitely share
Always happy
all
to
of
share.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tag us at Story Engine Deck. We have the pins. I think this will show up better on the close-up cam, but these are the enamel pins. When you assemble them together, they make this cool crest.
You can literally tell how shiny they are by the light reflection.
Yeah. But here, let's go to this view. Yeah, that's better.
As an intense enamel pin collector, I'm excited for these pins because pins are my life. I have too many pins. I started collecting them actually when I was many years ago. When or still am a huge science nerd. I made it to the Canadian Nationals of a science fair when I was 13, talking about measuring the universe using parallax angles and using the orbit of Pluto versus Earth to run a parallax angle to measure the universe and see what the scope is measured with that angle versus Earth. Yeah,
That is hardcore nerd.
we're very hardcore nerd trying to measure the universe using parallax angles. And when we went on the trip, they actually gave us a bunch of pins, and we were encouraged to trade with other people for pins because I guess pin trading was like a really big culture over there, and I just got obsessed. Like, I'm pretty sure the reason why I didn't win any prize at nationals is because I literally was like abandoning my station to trade pins. I straight up, like, that just became my fixation. I need to collect them all. You can tell that if I played Pokemon that I was insane. I was like, and it just never stopped. I bought them when I travel. I buy them at conventions. Eric, when I started dating Eric, it became the easiest gift for him to buy for me. He now collects pins as a result, so we sort of have like the couples. We have the like pre-Eric and post-Eric era.
I was always kind of like interested, but I was never like, oh, I can't do this. And then all of a sudden, like, I guess I can now.
Yeah. The floodgates open. We're building like giant corkboards to display the pin collection. So at some point, I'm sure someone will see like, and this is the weird nerd nonsense that
we did hit the point though where I was looking for batteries in all these little drawers on
Don't
one of our
out us
tables.
like this.
And every single drawer I opened was just filled to the brim with pins.
Why are you outing our lifestyle like this? It's very healthy.
We did have a question.
Yeah.
Where to go?
Will we? Oh, I'm assuming this is the Gen Con panel.
Yeah.
The short answer is I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the short answer. I can't guarantee it, unfortunately, just because it's a little hard to kind of figure out the logistics for that. One, because we are obviously traveling from around, so it's a lot to like have a camera that can record at least an hour-long panel.
Yeah.
We would need to probably need permissions from everyone, so it's not just us. We actually have a few special guests joining to talk about the world building panel. It's a good question. I completely understand why, especially people who can't be at Gen Con. Like, maybe there is an opportunity to do a live stream of it, of just the panelists.
Yeah.
Let's take this offline and have a conversation about it. Thank you for bringing that up, though.
We're going to be doing a lot to bring. Originally, we were going to do something that we had thought of the name for. We were like, what if we do Gen Can't? Everyone who can't come to Gen Con could like be part of our sort of online version of the experience. Turns out Gen Can't was actually a thing from 2020 to 2022, so we're not going to use that name. But we are going to be doing a lot to try and bring the Gen Con experience to online.
Yeah. So
that if you're like at home and you're not coming to Gen Con, if we're doing anything cool and fun, we'll try and create like a little taste of it in the online version.
Yeah. So things to be taken offline to discuss. And actually, like this question asking us to do a cheat sheet with all the symbols for the expansion packs for the sets. That's actually probably not a bad idea for
Yeah.
us to do. I feel like we need to like have a little post-it note to be like, yes, friends, these are things that we will remember
and I
to
think
do.
I think it's Keith Davies actually printed one out of his own.
Yeah.
I remember
really?
like one of the first like because he does
Crowdsourced.
the PDFs. He has our the print and play cards, and I think he actually he showed us his storage system way back in the day, and it was a like a little laminated sheet that he had printed out and stuck in all of the he had these little transparencies that he was storing his cards in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, maybe we'll make a note of it and make sure we like maybe have
Yeah.
a table on our website. I know some people have asked similar things about like making it really easy for what's in each system, like what's in
Oh yeah.
Story Engine Deck,
So
Deck of Worlds.
that one we do have right now. If you go to storyenginedeck.com/storage and
Yeah.
you go to the collection calculator, you can see every single deck and expansion listed out. And if you click them, it will show you how many cards you have in your collection.
It's just that I think it's just
automatically.
but like I think some people might assume they only need to go there to look for their storage, right? So
Oh, no,
having it somewhere
oh,
like
okay.
a little more visible.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
We constantly try and improve things every single day.
Lots of resources.
Yes, lots of resources. All the resources. Also, it's a good reminder that like we live in this, right? We
Yeah.
literally live, eat, breathe, sleep this all the time. So
Yeah.
sometimes things become like really like locked in,
Yeah.
and then we realize, oh, like
We never
it's
took
not the
the time
same
to
thing.
explain that to
I
someone
mean,
who
I'm
doesn't
kind of
think about
I
this.
always consider myself the like least tuned in because I spend a lot of my work in with Story Engine is logistics, fulfillment companies, finances, so I don't get to play with the decks as much as I do. And I remember, I think it was during Deck of Worlds when I was like really eyeing up the icons for each expansion, being like, all right, this, all right, this, all right, this,
Yeah.
right? And I think there was one moment where I looked at one icon and be like, wait, is it this or this?
Yeah.
Right? So like it kind of, in some ways, I get an opportunity to slightly cross-check,
Yeah.
slightly,
Yeah.
just a little bit. All right.
And speaking of notes to remember for later, when we give the printer directions on how to organize the expansions inside the collector's boxes, let's make sure the order of expansions matches the order of icons. Because it did not, I realized when we were doing unboxing. We had
Okay.
namesakes in the middle and emblems on the right, and it doesn't match
Telling
the
me
icon
right now on
order.
this line means I'm going to completely forget before the
I'm
end of it.
gonna write it down on our little. This is our like we're a rock band and this is our set list. We decided ahead of time on the order we were going to do the unboxing things, so I'm gonna write it down in our set list so I remember for later.
Like I said, the very, very weird little things, like what things are face up, what things are this. I think one of the things is like putting all the tokens, putting all the tokens in one bag, all that kind of stuff. So, are we working on a future set? We get asked questions like this quite frequently. What are we working on next?
Right now we're just working on delivering.
Right,
We're
right
working
now
on-
we haven't stopped working on Lore Master's deck yet, so that
Truly, yeah.
Yeah, remember, we just started hitting go for printing thousands of copies of Lore Master's deck to get to our 3,000 plus backers.
Yeah.
And then some.
up to
4
4,000 now.
locations. Yeah.
4,000 plus backers.
With four distribution hubs. So we'll be working on that for a bit, and then maybe we'll do some
Maybe
teasing
we'll
and sneak
sleep.
peeking.
And then if time tea.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if time tea.
I actually, when I was cleaning up for the live stream, I had to hide a stack of prototype cards for something that I didn't want you to see that I had been working on.
No! What? What? Peter! I got my eye on you, Peter. Don't encourage him, by the way.
What if we looked at some card sleeves? Wouldn't that be cool? So we have our focus sleeves. This is the packaging, and there's the back. Whoop. And then
And we'll stick a few cards in
yeah.
these so you can see them at work a little bit later
And
on.
then these are reproducing the standard sleeves. These are just like see-through that you can put on anything. Also, the focus sleeves are compatible with all Story Engine cards as well as Lore Master's deck cards, and for most Deck of Worlds cards. Like you can't stick a region in here very effectively, and the landmarks wouldn't be great, but otherwise all the other card types would work really well with these.
Yeah, and the other thing is like the regular sleeves. So if you are someone who likes sleeving all your cards, it fits inside the focus sleeves.
I'm just
So
gonna-
if you sleeve all your cards, you don't actually have to take it out to put in the focus sleeves. You can do it. And you know, when it comes to learning about business stuff, I think like So I didn't come on to work with Deck of Worlds until things were well, more or less into print, I think.
Yeah, you came in for logistics, like when production was wrapping up, you came in to figure out like where do things need to go, how are they going to get there.
Yeah. Or like I think I was joining just when you were finalizing, approving things for print runs. So I was still onboarding, I was still kind of figuring out how it all worked. So I didn't actually have a say on the quantities. These sleeves were sold out within like, what, a month?
Yeah, it was a month after we fulfilled.
A month after we fulfilled, they were just gone. And then everyone kept asking. I think it was so. I think we had them like some in like single packs. We had a lot of single packs, and we had to like bundle them up into 10 packs, and then they were just gone in like a minute because, you know, if you have 100 single packs and then you bundle them into packs of 10. And then send them out. That's 10 orders, right? And they were like, they literally like vanished. We literally had to like refund some orders. Stop some shipments from going out because we just simply didn't have enough sleeves to fill. So that was one of the learning lessons when it came to quantities.
Sleeves, very popular, and a lot of staying power.
So
what we'll do is we'll bust these out later when we do a sample demo at the end of the stream. But in the meantime, we will actually, there's only one thing left to demo.
And I realized I had this, and I brought mine, and
this is the most recent version.
This is the most recent version.
So this one should be good. So we've been through a bunch of them. You're saying you want to show the different iterations?
It's very slight, so maybe the audience won't actually see it.
Okay, let me. I think we can sort of.
This is it's like a behind-the-scenes process of what production, like the details that we obsess over.
Yeah. So this is 1, 2, and 3, but the middle one we won't open.
Yeah.
Okay, so this was generation 1 of the Lore Masters journal. It was a very matte vegan leather that just didn't look as leather-like. There's some reasons that I liked the matte, but it didn't pop and it didn't feel.
Yeah, I actually never got a chance to see it in person.
Yeah, so actually I'll let you grab this in a second. So this version, there's a couple things wrong. One was the cover is too thin, so the tabs for the different card types stuck out, which would get them damaged too quickly, so we couldn't have that. And then we didn't love the matteness. Also, the material itself was a little bit weaker, so we were starting
the quality
to see
wasn't as good.
We were seeing some bending in the cover right here, which we weren't in love with. It was definitely a good start. And then we have the main page here. I'll go back to displaying it here. So we had a sort of welcome page explaining how to use it, followed by various card types. We have dividers for the card types, blanks that you can use, and then at the back, after the deity blanks, we had some, these are like multifunctional pages, so you can just circle which card type it is, and this way if you run it of one page type first, you don't have to like immediately then go get more pages. You can sort of round things out so that you use an equal number of each. And that was the first version. So the paper, we liked the weight, all of that was good. The dividers were solid.
I think we changed the opacity on the paper just like a hair.
And what we asked for is for the printing to go down in intensity a little bit, so like to gray out the printing a little bit so that it wouldn't show through the pages, but it doesn't show through strongly. So
this is us being really like OCD.
This is us being very nitpicky and asking for them to gray out the page printing a little bit. So that was generation 1. Generation 2 is where we tried a new style of vegan leather.
Yeah, I want to see this.
And we expanded the cover, but the cover I think got too wide. It started to feel less like a journal and more almost like a clipboard size. And the clasp magnet was it was like a nice touch, but it wasn't quite in the right place. We felt that the centering was off on the gold logo, so this was a little bit too wide. The interior stayed the same. We didn't change anything for this draft of the interior. So
I'm having this moment where you're like passing. Do you remember in grade school when there's like they show you a cool item, you get to pass it around and everything? I'm feeling this moment right now, show and telling.
And then this is the final. This is basically what we have signed into production, and there's only one other change in the interior. So this is the vegan leather cover. It let us center the gold logo, but also make sure that the clasp wasn't going to cover it. This really looks like buffed leather. Like I ran this sample by some people who I know buy like leather products. And this was the one that they said was absolutely the closest to final like polished leather.
Kind of smells like, honestly, it smelled enough like leather when it first arrived. I was like, are we sure we're using vegan leather? It's like, do we want to double check with the factory?
Does anyone know any cows we can consult? So then the welcome page. And then the only other thing that we changed is we moved the lore elements, the multiverse ones, to the front before we get into the tab system. And then we made sure that it's always tab first, followed by the matching page type, because the initial prototypes realized they put like the faction pages in front of the faction tab. But if I want to make a faction, I'm going to open to here, and I want the factions right there. So we reordered the pages. We made sure the lore elements, the multi-purpose ones, were at the front, so you can again just circle your icon, and you'll know exactly which lore type you're building. And yeah, and that's it. Like this is the one. We got it. We nailed it.
Yeah, we nailed it. And I guess what we should say is, like we said, the second one was a little bit larger, so we brought this is the nitpicky stuff. Like literally, I think this was me. I was like, can we bring this
3 to 4 millimeters?
3 to 4 millimeters. And the factory, and like we love the factory that we're working with. Our project manager Amo is
so good.
Is the best.
She's
like
the
shout
best.
out to Amo.
Yeah.
She is the absolute like best human being, and just such a sweet human. So she's been like, I've been like sharing like wedding planning stuff with her on occasion.
That's so cute.
But anyway, like they're really good at coming back and telling us whether they think something is better or worse. Like I think she was one who suggested the different leather because she was one who flagged the quality of the leather for us first. And then when I asked whether she could bring it back a few millimeters, she's like, "Are you sure? Like there's a chance the tabs will come out." And I said like, "Can you please just try it again? Like let's just bring it in, bring it into what you think is like reasonable." Like please just like give it a go, and they did, and they sent us another sample. So we really thank the factory for working with us so diligently on this project. Pagan Eagle asking this question if there's a PDF version of the journal, which I think Eric you answered. So we have PDFs of the blank pages. So that's as PDF as you can get, because I mean you can't really print yourself a vegan leather cover unless you have a 3D printer, of which then at that point
a very nice 3D printer.
Really?
I'd be very curious to know what you're putting in it.
Yeah, with rivets and everything, but you can download and print the pages. I believe it's available for $5. Marlene's question about is the paper fountain pen friendly? I'm not sure. We could try while we demo.
Yeah, we do have
fountain pens.
Yeah. Or I have some kind of nib pen that Jasmine uses that I can try and figure out where she keeps it.
Yeah, but I mean,
if not, we'll report back.
Yeah, nib pens are like very similar to like a fountain pen, right? So it's actually not that niche of a question, because honestly, I find that I have mixtures of roller pens and ballpoint pens, and sometimes it's just like whatever pen I have on hand to do the thing.
So
well, also nobody likes fountain pens more than writers.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that surprising. For this audience, it's not that niche.
Years ago, I think it was at the Tower of London. I bought a quill with ink pot and everything. I never opened it because, of course, when you buy it had a feather, and of course, when you have really nice things, you're like, I will only use it in special occasions, being 0 times. And then I think my sister bought me a glass quill recently on a trip.
That sounds familiar, yeah.
Yeah, and I haven't. I guess I need to do something with it. I'm glad it exceeds all expectations. We're super excited about that. I'm a journal person.
Yeah.
Knowing me, I'll end up like having the lore master deck and doing lore stuff in it, but then I'll end up writing tasks in it as well.
Okay, so the other thing we didn't like about this first draft was the magnet clasp covered the logo. Obviously, that was a no-go. It was part of why we did the expansion in the first place. So I'm going to try. I may have to get some water to loosen these up. These are my wife's Lamy, and then what's this brand called? I always forget.
Oh, those are like very fancy looking pens.
Yeah, I don't remember what this one. Oh, Kaliko. So Kaliko and Lamy, and I'll give these a try and see if they're inked up or if I need to get some water to loosen the ink.
Okay, we're about to live test things. Any other questions about, if you guys have any other questions about, I was going to say something weirdly sarcastic and then it like failed miserably. If you have any other questions about the decks, about our expansions, this is a really great time to ask us. I was like, if anyone needs us to like stress test any of our products as well right now, now's the time to ask. Can we, like, will it blend?
Will it bleed?
Will it blend? We won't do that. I would feel really horrible as we're like putting the storage boxes into a blend deck and it's just like, oh god. That's like one of the like weird, I don't know, like Instagram reels or random shit that like Maroki gets up to in her own time.
Is it compatible? I'm not going to.
We do not endorse this.
Yeah, the next time Eric decides to cut his finger open chopping vegetables, as he did a few weeks ago, I'll then have him put a fingerprint blood just for you.
So the answer is yes. I tried it with a Lanny and a Calico. They both worked. There's no smudging. It's turned out
But
beautifully.
does it show on the other side? Is that the other question?
No, I had not
Not
checked
the-
that. No, actually, and it doesn't. Like you can slightly see it, but it does not show through.
Just
those
don't write
lines
with
at all.
Copic pens.
Yeah. No, that worked out great. That was a good test and a great question.
Yeah, it was a great question because like I said, I'm sure all of us write in a nice pen.
Okay. Well, I think do we want to do a little prompt and bust out the focus sleeves?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Just a reminder for anybody who's joining late.
What
Oh
was-
yeah. Let's talk about the giveaway.
Oh yes.
One more time.
So the giveaway is we are giving away a copy of our an alpha copy of Lore Master's deck, signed by. I guess we could all sign
Yeah,
it
we
this
should all
time.
sign it. We're all
Yeah,
here
last
together.
time it was just Peter who signed it.
Yeah.
Signed by us. If that matters to you, and then it's gonna come in a Peter patented Ziploc bag.
Yep.
And this is one of our first iterations that we ever made of Lore Master's deck that we've used for our live streams during our campaigns and stuff like that. And in order for you to win, you can either shop at our pre-order store at storyenginedeck.com/lore or something from our main store. So if you buy a physical copy of anything from our pre-order store or our main store at storyenginedeck.com, we will do a live drawing
Yeah.
for this. Or we'll do a draw for this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we gonna use this or we're gonna use those?
We're gonna use. I pulled these down and I put just the sleeve up. So
Yeah,
it
maybe
looks like
now
there's
that
a
we know
box
we're
up
giving
there.
these away, we should start minimizing the amount of fingerprints we put on this.
Yeah.
The amount of wear and
Well,
tear.
like the bag, you can put as many as you want.
Yeah.
That's what the bag is for.
Yeah.
All right. So I think to start, let's get a vote on what type of lore cluster we're going to start with. So we'll count down 3, 2, 1, go. But you can type your thing and have it ready to post. Would you want to start with a faction, a figure, an event, a location, a object, a material, or a creature? You can vote in 3, 2, 1, go.
Go. Da, 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 da. I'm just getting the sleeves ready. We can show you how you can like nest the
Oh,
cards
yeah.
in sleeves. Oh no!
All right.
Stuck the
So
tab.
first to 3 votes. Creature, event, creature, object, creature.
Creature.
Starting with a creature. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna shuffle. And
I was like trying to rush and get these leaves out, but we have
Yeah.
time.
so
We have time.
our draw was. Ooh, this is a fun one. Is our creature that we're going to. Oh, yeah, sorry. This is to explain how Lore Master's deck works. There are 8 card types, and 7 of those card types are lore card types. And whenever you start a lore cluster, you start with one of those 7 card types. I named them earlier as part of our vote. So you'll draw the card, and you'll use the colorful side for your first draw. This is the primary side of the card, and it's going to kind of give you the nugget or the nucleus of whatever lore element you're about to create. We're going to create a creature, and we can create a creature that is a snake, an octopus, a fern, or a lemur-based creature. And you can literally make something very much like the Earth version of this, or you can create this as a very basic basis for creating your own.
Or
The
like,
iridescent
creature.
blue crocodile that we were pairing with
Yeah,
wine.
it
Very
could be a space lemur.
Yeah, could be a space lemur. So someone has said the creature is ... a penguin. Not on this card, but on other ones. But let's go ahead and vote in 3, 2, 1. Octopus, snake, lemur, fern.
Go.
For all you penguin people, just like keep staying tuned because we may or may not have something up our sleeve. Sleeve! For in the future involving a penguin. Just saying.
All right, we have octopus, fern.
I don't promise
lemur,
anything.
Octopus, lemur.
Octopus got 3.
Octopus. Oh yeah, octopus did get 3.
Octopus got 3. Okay, so
Okay.
we're gonna choose octopus, but it's so distracting. There's so many other cues on this card. How will I know which
How
one?
will we do?
So we bring in
We've thought of this.
the focus sleeve. So the focus sleeve, this side is totally printed over, so you won't see anything on the back side. And on the front side, you'll only see the part that goes in this transparent slot. It opens from the bottom because you know that you want your cue at the bottom. And so I just hold the octopus card with the octopus near the bottom, and I can slide even a sleeved card inside the overall focus sleeve, put that down, and now I'm only focused on the one cue that I'm using actively. You only need to do this for your primary card types. The secondary card types you tuck under the card so that the cues are hidden. But for your primary card types, this helps you keep your board as clear and clutter-free as possible and just focus on the cues that you are using. So super duper helpful. And yeah, as Raphael says, that will help my ADHD. I have ADHD. I find this incredibly helpful for focusing on only the card types that I want to focus on. So I have a feeling that some fellow neurodivergent friends will find this helpful. And then we'll do some secondary card draws. So you'll draw another creature card, another card of the same type of whatever the center of your lore cluster is, but you'll use the backside this time. And this is going to have a combination of cues like traits and backgrounds that will apply new details to the creature that you're making. So our octopus, we can give it a trait where it is telekinetic or telepathic, or telepathic rather.
Telepathetic.
Yeah, it's like it's the saddest thing in the world, and from a distance. Too.
Yeah.
A trait where it is a talented mimic or ambusher, which is actually true of octopuses straight up. A trait where it is repelled by or attached or attracted to a specific material, and we would draw a material card from the deck and open a new lore cluster to find out what material. Or a background where this octopus is associated with a spirit or god. You'll notice that this cue references gods but does not have a deity icon. That's because the main deck, we didn't put any links to the deities deck. We wanted the main deck to be self-contained. You can treat this as a closed cue, or if you have the deities expansion, you could choose to like willfully decide to draw a deity card to round this out if you want. You can turn it into a link.
You can tell that the deck. You can say to the deck, I don't think you're creative enough, and I have something for you.
Yeah, exactly. I want to take this further. So you can go ahead and type one of these 4 keywords to place your vote when I count down. So we'll go telekinetic, we'll go mimic, we will go material, and we will go god. And you can vote in 3, 2, 1. And I'm going to go just chastise my dog for a sec because he's
you have to say go, Peter.
Oh, go! And hey, no licking, little dude. No licking, little dude. Thank you.
And Moose, yes, it is a whole plastic sleeve with a clear window. The thing with a lot of these, it's good because that way it keeps like the edges from peeling off. For one, it still protects the card.
Yeah.
But like I know even when we were looking at some other iterations at the time, they suggested paper sleeves and stuff with a full cutout. But then then the corners will wear and tear.
Yeah, the corners will wear and tear. We really wanted it to be like durable.
Yeah.
Just durable.
Yeah.
All right. So how did our votes go? We had.
I think material got there first.
Mimic, material, god.
I think material did get
material,
there first.
god. Yeah, it was a tight race though. Okay, so by material. God was a close second. We could do a corner tuck on this one.
It's funny because I literally saw that message from Tara that's like, now we need corner tuck sleeves.
See, we wouldn't really need a sleeve. We need like a whole like little framing device, so it's like like a little like kind of like stand holder that you can like stick the cards into, so they're positioned nicely.
The next April Fool's thing is going to be like the story engine sleeves, and they're just going to have like random opaque like cut.
we'll have like the telepathetic sleeves. It's just opaque on both sides. You have to just guess what the card is. If you want to use this for a corner tuck, I think you would just cover the ones you don't want.
Yeah.
And actually, look at that. The backside. There you go. That's how you corner tuck. But for now, we'll slot that in. I'm going to corner tuck it, so we're going to have it's associated with the spirit or god, and it is repelled by or attracted to a material. So because we have this icon here, which is the material icon, looks like this. That tells us that this is a link queue and that it needs to have another card drawn in order to complete it. I'm just trying to make sure it comes into focus here. There we go. So we are going to draw a card from the materials deck to complete that queue. And this is going to be a card that we could expand into its own lore cluster later if we are so inclined. And if we have enough time, which I think we will, but we'll see. So this is going to be our material card now. This is the material that our octopus is repelled or attracted to. Also, keep in mind, if you have an idea about how you want to interpret this, like what you think, why it would be attracted to this material or repelled to that one, you're always welcome to put your interpretations and your pitches in the chat. We love it. We love people discussing the creative choices available.
It also very much shows like how you can create many different stories and iterations even with a singular prompt.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Like, I still think one of the best like writing activities for kids is when you give them the one prompt and see what they all come up with.
Yeah, with kids, I almost like don't bother with the guidebook or rules. Like they're very good at making up their own thing from scratch.
It is like whenever I have to like kind of recap these for social media, it's like I kind of remember like the basic details, but then I'm like so many things go past in the chat. I'm like, what did we come up with for that?
Yeah.
Like when we built the ecosystem for the for
Yeah.
the Deck of Worlds one, I was
Yeah.
like, that was a great ecosystem. I don't remember exactly what we had in there beyond the piranha otters.
Although-
I did write it down because we did have the worksheets.
Yeah.
The worksheets, they're there for a reason.
Although I do have this memory, I think I was 9 or 10. I was in grade 4.
Flying walkers. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We were read a Moomin Troll story, and I think in the Moomin Troll story, like Moomin Troll like put on a hat or something, and then he like turned into a creature, and he's all like, "Oh my God, I turned into an ugly creature," and he kept telling everyone I'm Moomin Troll, and everyone's like, "You're not Moomin Troll," and then he's like crying and he's upset, and then finally like comes up to his mom, and his mom like looks at him, and she's like, "Yes, you are my Moomin Troll." And
That's
then
very
we were
cute.
told to continue writing the story.
Oh.
So we all were trying to write a story about like how does Moomin Troll turn back and everything.
Yeah.
And apparently every single person in the class save one person wrote the story about how Moomin Troll went back to the hat and like went under the hat and it transformed him back. Apparently every single kid in the class, myself included, wrote this as the story. I think I made my hat turn into a blanket now.
Oh,
No
wow.
reason,
Oh,
no
yeah.
reason. But one person wrote this like much longer story where they went off an adventure. So sometimes we're not that creative apparently.
But also, like, story structure is very powerful. Like, we have a very intuitive sense of what feels like an ending and what feels like it brings things full circle. So I think that does also speak to, like, the
That's not what
universality
actually
of
happened in
story.
that Moomin Troll story, by the way.
That it did not turn into a blanket.
No, it did not turn into a blanket. He did not go back under the hat to turn back to Moomin Troll.
And you'll have to go pick up a copy of Moomin Troll to find out how it ends.
I
If
have no
Moomin
idea.
Troll
what-
sales spike, I
Yeah.
take full credit.
take full
and
credit.
I
I
have no
want
idea
2%.
what Moomin Troll is, so.
Oh, well, we'll just have to share Moomin Troll with you afterwards. You can
Yeah.
look him up after the
Yeah,
live.
after
Or
the live.
if the chat knows who Moomin Troll is, you can all describe
Yeah.
Moomin Troll to Eric.
Shout out to Moomin Troll. And now, again, don't tell him this is an elaborate conspiracy that we all prearranged to confuse him. Don't let him know. Okay, so we're voting for the material the octopus is repelled by or attracted to. Normally, I would actually draw 2 material cards, and you vote between, choose between all of the cues on both of them. But because voting between 8 different options gets really messy, we're just going to focus on 4. So the octopus, is it repelled by or attracted to roots, dirt, a kind of magnet, which would make sense, or thread? And you can vote in 3, 2, 1, go.
Roots would be like interesting.
Yeah.
It's like it's not like an object that I would have thought about
Yeah.
or like material.
It'd be interesting because thread, you could do like a specialized kind of fishing.
Aha!
line.
Team Roots.
Team roots.
Yeah.
Magnet, roots, thread, roots, magnet.
Hundo P was Roots.
Oh, Brian Root voted for roots. So vote root.
Vote Root.
Beautiful. So we'll tuck that
Not
there.
to be confused with
I
Groot.
was gonna say we are roots.
Yeah, we are Roots.
Okay. We will pull another creature card. I think the roots are tentacles of another octopus.
For
Oh! It'd be really cute if like the octopus actually mistook the roots for like it mistook it for a friend because it was kind of like shaped
Maybe it was like a little
what it
turnip with
knows.
roots, so it kind of looked like an
See,
octopus,
like,
and it,
I'm-
like played with it.
Yeah.
I'm picturing like an octopus that very specifically lives in kind of a like one of the habitats with like mangrove trees, where it's
Yeah.
like those trees that kind of like extend into the water, and the octopuses just like to hide
Yeah.
in these roots and make little nests there.
The octopus doesn't like eating carrots. Love it. Love it.
Oh, that's great. Wait, I actually thought there was like a real I clearly wasn't fully paying attention. I was like, octopus doesn't actually like eating carrots, and I genuinely was like, do they
Is
not?
that true?
Yeah.
I think this octopus is like a difficult child. I think that's what we're learning.
Doesn't eat his carrots, doesn't eat his peas.
Yeah. Alrighty, so we're gonna give another trait to our octopus here, but in the meantime, please do keep giving us pitches for what you think the repelled or attracted by roots means. I really like this mangrove environment. I'm vibing that. In the meantime, we have our octopus have a background where it is the pet of a notable figure, and we would draw a figure card to figure out who that is. A trait where this species of octopus is partly mechanical or synthetic, which would be very interesting, especially because it has a relationship to other materials. We have a trait where it bears a single offspring or lays a single egg. And then we could have a trait where this octopus is notably fleecy, fuzzy, or feathery. So one thing that's really fun about the traits is that you can like apply like a furry octopus not something we have context for in our world, but there's no reason why that couldn't exist in your
Maybe
world.
this octopus lives on land. Like maybe it's not even like maybe it's like the grizzly octopus.
Maybe it's a squishmallow from the Fuzz Squad. You never know.
I'm thinking about like what was it, like my octopus teacher, when it says like someone.
Yeah.
Why'd you say oh god? It was like a reasonably heartwarming story.
Until the octopus.
No spoilers.
Until the octopus got telepathic powers.
Yeah.
And harbored in the cephalopocalypse. So we're gonna go ahead and vote for pet, fleecy, egg, or synthetic. That is pet, fleecy, egg, or synthetic. And we'll vote in 3, 2, 1, go.
I mean, Braun was saying feathery octopus in flight, so like. We've probably mentioned on several live streams at this point, and probably will go on for a little while because they have many episodes. But Eric and I are marathoning One Piece right now, and another piece of One Piece lore was that they had an octopus that was like a hot air balloon.
Oh, that's really cute.
Yeah, like he was alive, and like he got really small when he like deflated, but then they would like pummel like hot air underneath him, and he helped like carry the ships across land.
That is very cute.
So yes, there was no feathers involved, but he worked as very much an effective balloon.
Oh, I like that entwining with the root system.
I think fleecy won.
Everyone wants that fleecy fuzzy octopus.
So I guess we have to do another vote for which of the 3 we're going with.
I think we could. Well, let's do the last one, and then if it has not become apparent, we can go back.
Yeah, but everyone said fleecy. It's almost like they needed a fleecy octopus.
Yeah.
No one said fuzzy. Oh, I guess you have to say fleecy.
Yeah, because you said fleecy.
I said fleecy for the vote.
Yeah. Fair.
It's unclear if these fleecies are pro fleecy or just
or just good at following instructions.
Yeah.
It's true. I'd pick fuzzy first because fleece has static.
Oh yeah. Although underwater.
But that's only assuming it's underwater.
That's true.
What if it's not? What if it's on land and it lives in a dry environment and it just sticks to your sweater all the time?
Or it's like one of those fleets, like a video game character where it goes into water and then it comes out and it's just dry. There's certain birds like that where it's like their feathers don't carry water at all, so
they have like
die.
They have like an oil coating.
Yeah.
What if they are small and they're like barnacles because they're like and they just like static cling to you all the time?
Yeah, I like little lint octopuses. I think that'd be a very fun little creature. All right. So our last trait for our octopus, we're going to give it a background where it's nicknamed after its discoverer or maker. And we would draw a figure card to figure out who discovered or made it if it was a synthetic creature. A trait where its droppings are harvested for a material, and we pull another material card. A trait where it radiates an aura, a cloud, or a field. And then a trait where it has either gills or some kind of specialized lungs. So we can go ahead and vote for nickname, droppings, radiates, or gills, and we'll vote in 3, 2, 1, go.
While you're voting, I also realized there was something we didn't mention with regards to the giveaway. So just to quickly reiterate, you get a chance to win an alpha copy of Lore Masters deck. So this is one of our earliest versions. There might be a couple errors in there. There might be some prompts that have been cut since then.
There's some duplicates for sure.
If you make a purchase on our pre-order store or on our Shopify, if you buy a physical copy of anything, you get entered as a draw. I should mention that if you do buy something from our website, and then if you share it on social media and make sure you tag us, we will add you in an extra ballot.
Yeah, double ballots.
Yeah, so if you know sometimes when you buy something, I don't know if we have those auto buttons, but if you're share, just be like, I'm excited to get blah blah blah.
I think we might on BackerKit, but we don't on.
Yeah, so I mean, but our store, if you purchase something and then share on your social media that that you're buying something or whatever, we'll add a ballot to your order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can get yourself a signed in triplicate. We only sign one card because we don't have a box to sign. We have to sign one of the cards.
Yeah.
We'll all sign one of the cards for you.
What if we all sign a different card and then they have to find it?
Oh yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah, we can pick our favorite card.
Yeah, we can pick our favorite card type.
Ooh. Oh yeah, or our favorite card even. Yeah. Okay. If museum's still in there, I'm definitely gonna sign museum. I have to check. Okay.
He's gonna write a thing
and I'm gonna sign over your signature.
Yeah. Or cross out the word after my name.
Yeah.
We're going to I've bullied them into coming to my historical fencing class with me tomorrow. We're starting small sword, so we can have a duel over the honor of museum or archive to the death with our blunted swords.
The loser gets taxidermied in the museum.
Yeah.
I know I saw something very early on that there almost needs to like that we should make an author's card for us as like a cool as like a little
So
thing.
the recommendation was that it would be a card where it was Peter, Eric, Maroki, and Oben.
Yeah. This would be a
It's
good
like a
thing.
it would be a figure card.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
there's no context. The figure card just says Peter, Eric, Maroki, Oben.
Or it could be a role, so it could be like CEO, creative, communications, and then dog.
Dog. It has to be Doge.
Doge.
Yeah.
All right. So we are gonna do we're gonna expand one more lore cluster before we.
I
wrap
know
up
it's supposed
here.
to mean doggy, guys, but guys, straight up, it's Doge. Okay.
Doge.
If you have any understanding of the English language.
It's definitely Doge.
Can't wait to see more sword content.
Me too. I want more swords. There's actually one of my sail dagger made it in as a prop in one of our YouTube shorts. So check out our YouTube shorts if you would like to see me do a pirate voice and also pull out a sail dagger. That's just a few shorts back. Okay, cool. So we have finished a lore cluster because we have cards on all 4 sides. The next thing that we're going to do is expand a new lore cluster. So we have roots tucked here. This is a primary card type. Anytime you have a primary card type that's tucked under a secondary card, you just need to scoot it out like this so that it becomes the center of its own new lore cluster. And then a special thing that we do whenever we're expanding a lore cluster is we start by drawing a modifier card. Modifier cards just have a single one-word prompt on each of the corners, and they're actually double-sided where both sides get used at the same time. So you'll pick between 8 cues. And these are just little adjectives that modify the card that they are describing to give them just a little bit of starting detail to work with. So this is going to describe our roots, and our roots can be smelly roots, fibrous roots, dynamic roots, slender roots,
Slenderman.
Slenderman roots, chipped roots, enchanting roots, exclusive roots, or bleeding roots. That's creepy. So we're going to go ahead and vote for smelly, fibrous, dynamic, slender, chipped, enchanting, exclusive, or bleeding. And we can vote in 3, 2, 1, go. In the meantime, Maroki is focus sleeving our card.
I will. I'm trying to. Hold on. Da-da-da. So much distraction, so many things, and then no more distraction. There you go. Here, I'll put that back.
Oh, was that Raven?
Yep.
The sword card? Oh, hi Raven. Good to see you. Also at Gen Con, I'm going to be performing as part of Trash Heroes D&D. It's a live stream that I do with Raven John and Alina Pete, Lane Myrie, Jeff Jocks, and Ranimal Holland. So a bunch of webcomic artist fans. We're going to be doing a live episode of our D&D podcast live stream thing at Gen Con on Thursday night at 7 p.m. And you can find details in the Gen Con events. Hello, Raven. Shout out to Raven. My cast member. And what do we have for votes?
Bleeding.
Bleeding roots. You love a creepy root, don't you guys?
I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be blood. It could be sap.
That's true. Oh yeah, it could be like the Dragon Blood tree, which is coming in a short soon. We'll be talking about the Dragon Blood tree.
Actually, speaking of like shorts and stuff, if you guys like any of our, like if you guys watch our reels, our YouTube shorts, or our videos, and if there's any specific videos or shorts that you'd like us to capture, whether it is certain tutorials for you guys or just things that you find interesting and like, we love knowing, so we can get inspired and create more stories. I will fully, and like, I don't know if anyone saw the unboxing short. I'm obsessed with the unboxing short. It made me very happy.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
We had fun making it.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun making it. So, how does one visually connect a subcluster to what it's connected to?
So two ways.
So many ways.
If you're just expanding directly, then the reason that we actually have the modifier cards set up the way they are is they have little arrows that show you which card links to which card. So you just need to follow your arrows. So this will, you'll always place the modifier card between the newly expanded card and the card it expanded from. And you'll always have the arrows automatically pointing towards, from the card that you started with to the card that you expanded to. So at the end of your lore session, you can actually follow your arrows backwards to your siege that started your entire lore web. And you can always keep track of which cards expanded and connected to which cards. So thank you for that softball question with the little winky face. Alternatively, if you were linking a card on this side of the cluster to a card that you had already pulled, you decided to link to an existing card in the structure, you could pull out your link tokens. I'm going to put this down as though it's a card, even though it's not. And I'm going to say that it connects to the field, maybe the aura cloud or field that gets radiated on this side of the card, is actually answered by like another material card that comes up over here later. I would just take, I'd start with the corner token piece, and I'd put that on the side of the card that originates the link, and then I'd pull tokens of the same color, and I'd just make myself a little trail of breadcrumbs so that I can follow my own logic through the lore web. And generally speaking, you'll put these link tokens in that little blank space between the cards. So think of that as like a little blank space grid between cards. And you can have multiple trails of the same color.
Just try not to cross them.
Yeah, just try not to cross paths of the same color, because then you may get confused about which one goes where. But otherwise, yeah, I would just do that. And then I know that this connects to this card right here. There's a shorter path here. I just wanted to put a tokens.
Make it as long, as many tokens as
possible. We also ended up using these for the Deck of Worlds expanded guidebook. We did the Pilgrims module, where you make a map and you have a pilgrim cross it, and you almost do like a solo RPG, like a journal as a character journeys through this world.
It was like kind of one of those like old timey adventures where you see like a map and like for the montage for it's like how they and you just like make a little dotted line trail.
Yeah. So you can actually do that across your Deck of Worlds maps with these, which is kind of fun. So that is how you keep track. But in the meantime, let's learn more about our roots. So now we are going to draw 3 cues, because we already have 1 cue thanks to our modifier. We're just going to fill out the remaining sides with additional cues. So this time we'll draw a modifier card, but we'll use the back side. And we can have a background where this material is harvested from a creature's waste or droppings. And we would pull a creature card to figure out which one. We could also just choose that to be the octopus. A trait where the roots are extremely lightweight or heavy. Traits where it is an exceptionally rare or precious root, or a background where it caused religious division within a faction, and we pull a faction card to figure out which faction they caused religious division within. So we'll go ahead and get you to vote for droppings, lightweight, rare, or division, and you can vote in 3, 2, 1, go!
Go! And now we wait.
Wait, how copyrighted is that? And are we going to be struck?
There, it's not that song anymore.
Okay, yeah, there we go. Yeah, all we have to do is be out of tune, and then...
Fooled the AI.
All right. So division.
I think division got it.
Yep, division got it. So we are going to. So when you are building out your lore web, if you're pulling a card that has a link queue, it always helps to tuck that on a side of the card that is open, so that you have room to expand later. Speaking of which, we're going to find out which faction this root caused religious division within.
These are all guides, by the way. You can like choose to defy everything we're telling you here.
Yeah. We're going very by the book, but you're welcome to do whatever kind of method serves your creativity. So, is this is the faction that the root caused religious division within a following?
That sounds apt.
Yeah. A non-profit.
That also tends to happen with religion.
A dominion, or a vanguard. And we can vote in 3, 2, 1, go.
This is like completely off topic. Maybe it's because we were talking about religions and vanguards, and you know what? It's because we were talking about religion. I was thinking about Steeple Green, the like little church bookstore that we found yesterday. That was converted into a bookstore. It's adorable.
Yeah.
And I just thought I would share with you guys. We're gonna be up to random shenanigans all week. So if you follow us on Instagram at Story Engine Deck, you'll probably see like an influx of stories of us just going on
gallivanting around Halifax.
Yeah, looking at adventures and see what like makes us creative.
Yeah, going to haunted pubs.
Yeah, we were like trying to find haunted pubs. We went to Steeple Green, which is a church that's been converted into a bookstore.
It's really cute.
Just like things. It's like
Peter and I were educated on the proper use of a cannon.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Pleasant Park and us misusing the cannon there.
Yeah. It's just I don't know. It's like it's real life lore in some ways.
Yeah. All right. So
Vanguard got to 3 first.
Vanguard got to 3 first. All right. So there was a vanguard within which these roots caused religious division. Interesting. All right. More traits for our roots here, or more details about them. It can say it is used in detecting or punishing deception. I'd forgotten that cue. I like that one. A trait where it is treated like currency within a faction or a location. And we could draw cards to figure which, or we could use an existing cue. A trait where our roots are mossy, spongy, or lichen-like in their appearance. Or a background where they are part of a figure's iconic aesthetic. Oh, root armor would be like a root cage armor would be super cool. Or like bramble armor. Okay, cool. So we will get votes on deception, currency, mossy, or iconic. I like iconic as a good keyword. And we'll vote in 3, 2, 1, go.
Kind of like the idea of currency because like if the roots are shorter, maybe it's worth less, and it's really hard to get a long root because maybe they're very brittle.
Yeah, or very like.
Like, what can you imagine? Or like you had like a long root, but then it broke.
Yeah.
So the value of your little.
I was gonna say it's like this is like unless somebody tears a dollar bill in half, but it's like
Yeah.
like much more painful.
It's also interesting because if it's a like resource intensive thing to grow, then it's like an investment where like the moment you pull it out of the ground, you've disrupted it, it's not going to grow anymore.
Oh.
So do you leave it in the ground or do you harvest it? It becomes a very interesting question. There's going to be some cool world building about like how people use these roots. There's some very cool world building around
It's
that.
like somebody goes to like perform a heist and then they accidentally break all the roots in transit, and it's like, well, what did we do that for?
Yeah.
And it's like if because like if the octopus is attracted to it, like is it just destroying the roots? So it's like important currency in the.
Oh, and then the octopus is like kind of a pest. That
Yeah.
Like, yeah. That'd be very interesting. Well, we're tied at 2 votes for deception, 2 votes for iconic. So
Is it corner chuckable or no?
Let's see. Iconic and deception. Yes, it is. So
There you
we'll
go.
go ahead and corner check. Alrighty. And I think the last thing that we're going to do, we won't expand this next one, but we will draw a card for it, is we'll figure out which figure has an iconic look that involves octopus roots. That is something that that's a question that I'm very curious to have answered.
I mean, the answer is whoever's running Hydra.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Oh, this will be very interesting. Okay, so this is our last cue of this stream. So to recap, we have an octopus that is associated with the spirit or god. So it makes sense that we have some religious stuff going on here. It's not just one of those like chromatophore sort of squicky octopuses. It is fleecy or fuzzy. So it's like a plushy octopus, very soft boy octopus.
Fleece isn't always soft.
Is it not? Oh, I guess it can be coarse, like
Yeah.
especially before.
Yeah. In fact, I think someone earlier literally said, "I don't like fleece. It's itchy."
Oh yeah. Well, especially if it's like a lanolin or whatever.
Yeah.
And our octopus radiates an aura, cloud, or field, which probably has something to do with its godlike associations. And it is repelled by or attracted to, but I think we're saying attracted to, a bleeding root. A root that we know caused religious division within a vanguard, which is used in detecting or punishing deception, and which we now know is part of a figure's iconic aesthetic. And what that aesthetic is going to be, or what that figure is going to be a believer, a seafarer, a coach, or a driver. And we will vote in 3, 2, 1, go. And what are you vibing? I'm curious.
I'm just trying to I want to figure out a way and how it like ties in to everything.
I would love to go coach here, and it's like basically like a sports coach. It's like
Okay.
that's the team. So it's like the octopus is the logo. So it's like one of those like logos where it's like the Vancouver Canucks where the shark is like biting like a hockey stick in half. Or something like that.
Yeah. So by the cards, it is the roots that are part of the aesthetic. But again, we can interpret this however we want. Transfer properties. Also, we know the roots in the octopus are related in some way, and through the tendrils and whatnot. I'm digging. Coach is very interesting. I like Coach. I like the idea that it is like the fighting octopodes or something. But seafarer, I think it would be fun. And I know that we're still deciding if the octopus is terrestrial or aquatic or whatever. But I think that like a seafarer with like a root cage flotation device, so like really buoyant wood that they wear could be cool.
Well, and I do believe you're gonna get your wish here because I think
Seafarer
Seafarer
gets
won.
it. Yay! I just think like a little like root based. We didn't choose the lightweight Q that got tucked underneath, but it could still be lightweight and very buoyant for a
It's funny,
seafarer.
yeah, because I was trying not to pick seafarer because I didn't want to tie too easily to the concept of octopus. And I also sometimes like picking words that just seem like completely unrelated, like driver. It's like, what does driver got to do with anything? And trying finding a way in making it work.
Ooh, you could have like a carved root like that chapeau that a lot of drivers wear.
Right.
A little cap.
Like I finally finished. I should say started and finished reading the graphic novel Young at Heart, which is part of the Toronto anthology group. So it's an anthology of short stories from Toronto.
Young spelled Y-O-N-G for anybody who knows.
Y-O-N-G.
Sorry. Yeah.
My God.
Look, I got halfway there.
And it's written by several artists and writers that I know who published that anthology. And one of the stories was like kind of like a very Spartan, like Roman warrior fighting each other story, but I realized it was like the Toronto like Argos versus the Rough Riders.
Oh yeah.
But they were like, it was like they were all in their colors, but it was like, oh, for the great company. It made it sound like it was like the Holy Grail kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's where I try, like I was thinking about that for these stories, like especially when Eric was mentioning Coach.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we were talking about these octopuses and roots and religion, but really, it's like the religion of sport.
Yeah.
I mean, there are people who worship at that church.
Yeah, they really do.
Yeah, the Vanguard could definitely be like the elite team. You could even, is Seafarer and Coach adjacent? Yeah, you could even do a little corner tech.
Our own other version of
the
a
Argonauts
corner
were sailers, right? So this is our little
It could
combo.
be an aquatic sport. It could be like water polo.
Yeah.
And it's like the octopus is the poor ball.
Yeah.
I mean, there's literally sports like that around the world with the dead goat.
I didn't know about a dead goat
Oh,
sport.
You don't know the dead goat sport?
No.
Okay, what was the show on Netflix?
It's either Home Team or Champion or We Are the Champions or something like that. I think the sport is called Cockbaroo. They play it in Kyrgyzstan. I want to say Kyrgyz, one of the Eastern or one of those Central Asian countries, and it's basically like a polo on horse, and you're just like kind of like a dead goat that they've taxidermied and stuffed, and you're riding on horseback, and you have to pick this thing up and toss it into like a kind of a donut.
It's like a big hole. It's like a big well.
Yeah,
it's like they do it on horseback, but they're throwing a dead goat around.
Yeah, but
that's their ball.
Yeah, so I mean like
it's
the
not
ball's
tied
like
up. It's like a loose, like the legs and everything.
It's not like European polo where you're taking a big mallet and hitting the ball down. You have to actually kind of like to pick up the goat if it's on the ground. You've got to like drop to the side of your horse.
This is like an invitation for back injury. Like,
yeah. Some of these sports that we were watching, like it was
Tense.
What was it called? It was Home Team or anyway.
Yeah.
It's like they're all like these like really localized sports. Like there's this one, I think it's in Italy.
It is.
Where it's basically gladiator, where like once a year, like just a whole bunch of men get into a giant arena and just beat the living daylights out of each other. And that like once a year they just come and they just beat the living daylights out of each other, and it's just like it's a coveted sport in this one little city.
Well, they're trying to score like rugby style, but also they're doing like basically you're allowed to do whatever you want to stop somebody.
Yeah, just pure violence. Yeah. So like there's just. The other ones was like the cheese wheel run and stuff like that. But the goat one. So the octopus could be a ball, and maybe it's complicated because the octopus is like now suctioning itself to you.
Oh the octopus like fights you during it. Yeah.
You have to fight the octopus.
Yeah.
This is just completely gone. And I like this one. Bronwyn saying they ride the octopus instead of a pony.
Oh, that would be really fun. Yeah, big fleecy octopus mount. Yeah. And the fleece is like good for grip.
That's much cuter than what we were just talking about.
Yeah. Also, like dead goat versus like pigskin, like it's all. I think a lot of sports were like there's limited things to make things out of, so a lot of things were made out of animals.
But also like, why bother making a ball when you just throw the whole goat around?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
there you go.
Comes pre-assembled.
Yeah, it's a little bit of extra danger, and then when the hoof comes and slaps you in the face. Yeah. Okay, so
that's been our live stream. Thank you for joining us for unboxing the Lore Masters deck.
Yes.
It's beautiful, and we're so excited to get to share it with you all. This is very close to what the final's going to look like so close. Produced using digital print methods and hand-assembled instead of machine-assembled. But it's beautiful. We're so happy with it. We can't wait to get the mass production samples, show you those, and then get them in your hands by the end of the year. And
that's the fingers crossed. This is gonna be the dotted line. By saying all these things, we're not promising that we can get. We want to. That's why we're saying it.
We are not tempting Poseidon to sink our boat.
Yes, no boat sinking. No, I don't know. I don't want to say any. No bad luck, anything. I'm not going to send any bad omens.
Crossing fingers and toes.
Yeah, that we want to make sure that things get into your hands by the holiday season. That's been the goal. I have built many contingency schedules around that. And a note on the giveaway. I think I talked about it when we were talking about doing the flash giveaway, where if you purchase a physical copy of anything from our website or pre-order store, that we're going to do a draw for an alpha copy of Lore Master's deck. I realize that there's a lot of people who live in different time zones, and it would be like really cruel and rude to, especially because I know a lot of people do watch this on replay afterwards, to just say this and then like do the draw. So we will extend this for another 24 hours or
I think 24 hours.
For 24 hours. So for anyone who watches the live stream, and they get a chance to enter the giveaway as well, if that's something they want to do. I think that's the most like fair way.
We can do if maybe if they were during the live stream, we can do double ballots.
If you did it during the live stream, we'll do double ballots. And then and of course, if you shared on social media, you also get a second ballot. And then anyone else who did it in the next 24 hours after the live stream will get one ballot for a chance to win the alpha copy of the Lore Masters deck. And we really appreciate all your support. This is always fun joining in, building prompts, and it was fun to unbox and share everything with everyone. I think like we really wanted a chance to properly show it.
Because we did, like when we did our review of this, we did our component review, because it arrived in May, or end of April, beginning of May. We did our like extensive review, all of us, and it was just like, don't screw this up type notes. It was like, let's get this.
It was like we opened it and it's like you go in just like expecting everything to be wrong. Like it's like
so a lot of the joy was missing from it, because it was just trying to nitpick as much as we could. This is our chance to like look at it joyfully and take it all in with excitement, instead of as people trying to like catch any potential minor flaw.
It's like we open it at first, we immediately just start scrutinizing every single little thing, and then we also have to like challenge ourselves, being like, oh my god, are we going crazy? Like, what are we...
am I obsessing too much over one particular detail? We do a lot of sanity checks, but it's all worth it. It makes it, every time, and it turns out so beautiful in the end.
So I don't know if we have anything else planned again before Gen Con.
Well, our next live stream is going to be the Free RPG Day one.
Right. See, I forgot, because I won't be on that one.
Roki has her bachelorette party, but I won't reveal too many details, but we are probably, what we're attempting to do is come up with a model for going into a tabletop RPG planning session with nothing, starting from just prompts and going from that to characters and a party and doing a full roleplay session live in a single sitting within like 5 hours.
And we are doing no prep.
Truly
when we say no prep, like
so we're
no character sheets, no.
You're giving away more.
This is what we're attempting to do. The plan may change. This is the current plan that we are working on.
And for those of you who don't know about Free RPG Day, it's an awesome event that's happening on Saturday, June 22nd, with many participating stores all around the world. You can go to, I think their website is freerpgday.com.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
or if not, just Google Free RPG Day.
Google Free RPG Day. Amazing organizers. It's where a bunch of publishers come together, ourselves included. They met us at Gen Con last year to give away like a small sample of a game. So it's sort of like Free Comic Book Day for anyone who's participating in Free Comic Book Day, where you get like a small thing. This is the only ever physical version of our demo deck. That exists. That's in existence.
So it's 12 cards of each type. It's all cards in the main deck. So if you already have the main deck, you have all of the cards that are in this box. But we want to give people a chance to try out the deck for free with the full production quality. So if you go to any participating Free RPG Day shop, that gets the Free RPG Day.
So you can go to, it is freerpg.com. You can go, then they have a list of their participating retailers.
And you can grab one of these.
Yes.
They're beautiful.
And yes, we will be at Gen Con at the end of July, beginning of August. So in real person meet for sure.
Yes.
In meat space, as they say.
In meat space.
In meat space.
Meat bodies in meat space?
Yes.
Oh wait, like you did mean this meat space.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh. I was thinking of like meat cute, like meat in the meat space. This is Maroki's really bad attempt at puns.
Yeah. Also, I should say we've been in this room for an hour and a half, and it is getting hotter and hotter with both the lights and the like summer sun, which always hits this corner
and
of
the
house.
No, that's just your East Coast. This being like maritime winds. Like I'm ready for some real sun.
Yeah.
So
I'm getting sweaty.
Okay, so with that note. note, thank you so much for joining us, and we will catch you again in a few weeks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bye. Thank you. It's in the corner.